begun.
Это моя вторая попытка, вернее, вторая часть начать трансляцию.
One more time for Mr. Matt Connor. Thank you, Matt.
Так как первая была прервана.
Is a true queen, a true fighter. She's been at the tip of the spear for years and years. From the New York Du Jour Assembly, president of the New York Du Jour Assembly. Many of you have heard her on those Zoom calls Thursday nights. Please welcome.
Living that New York City dream. Where's Bushwick at? Let's go. So, we have an info table all the way at the end there if you're interested in finding out more about the Du Jour Assembly and how you can join, how you can help, work towards a solution. Today, I would like to speak a little bit about some plans of action, working to fight back against the tyranny here in New York, and to work towards a solution. And the only permanent solution is to restore power to the people. Right now, we continue to rely on representation to get the job done. Representation on every level has failed us to date, which is why we are currently in this predicament. Representation such as union reps, lawyers, and politicians, all not getting the job done. The government wants us to depend on representation because then they control the process. If they control the process, and they can control the outcome. It is the duty of the people to get educated about our unalienable rights and to do the work ourselves and stop passing the baton, hoping that someone else will get it done. There is no savior. We must all put in the work to save ourselves. The elites have our attention diverted towards politics and voting. None of this is a permanent solution. If it was, we would have already been saved. The solution is for we, the people, to take our rightful seat as the fourth arm of government, overseeing the other three branches, and having the ability to easily hold an elected official liable when necessary. Quickly, some of the things that we can use to hold these politicians and government agencies accountable for infringing on the rights of the people and violating their oaths of office. The SF-95 form, SF-95, which is a government form claiming harm from a government agency. We have all been harmed from government agencies. The notice of liability and the affidavits of harm. The New York Du Jour Assembly will be having a free educational Zoom tomorrow night at 6 p.m. to teach about the affidavit of harm, how to write one. Please hop on and get educated. It's time to learn how to provide the necessary accountability that is currently lacking in the de facto system, which is missing on purpose. It's time for the people to get educated, learn the process of due process of law, and get informed about we the people's true power. Talking about failed representation, the New York City Council, our elected city council could have stopped these unconstitutional mandates, but those representatives have not acted. So in January, let's direct all the re-elected and newly elected public servants in the city council to do the work of the people and to stop these unlawful mandates, or else we will lawfully unseat them. January 6th is opening day of the legislative session in Albany. Busloads of us need to be up there to fight the bill introduced by Assemblyman Jeffrey Dinowitz. The bill would require all children to have the COVID vaccine in order to attend school. We need to show up on January 6th to fight for our children. We need to not only bring our voices of opposition, we need action. Bring notices of liability for any public servant who thinks they can vote yes on this bill. We don't need to try and persuade them and convince them with science or data arguments. Inform them with a notice that they will be in violation if they vote yes on this bill. Cite the codes in which they will be violating. Let them know that they will be held liable. We need the masses to put Jeffrey Dinowitz on notice. It's time. serve him notice and demand that he pull this bill immediately, or the people will hold him accountable. Just voicing our opposition will not get the job done. Without the people providing the necessary accountability, there is no incentive for them to care about you or your children or being constitutionally compliant. The New York Du Jour Assembly will provide the necessary education to help get these notices written. Hop on our calls every Thursday at 8 p.m. on Zoom. Lastly, to all the men who have been stepping up as of late, we need you. We needed you. We needed you in 2019 when they came for our children in religious exemption, and we need you now. We need you to be on the front lines protecting the women and children. In a world of Delta variants and indoctrinated beta males, be the alphas that we need. Stand up. Let's go. Thank you.
Come on, Jeannie, one more time for Jeannie. If you don't already join the Zoom calls, nydejure.info, nydejure.info. We're going to be passing the cards around, moving right along. Is everyone ready? New York, is everyone ready? We've been waiting for this moment for a long time. We've been waiting for this moment for a long time. We are so humbled right now to be joined by one of the world's leading academics. I'm looking at this website, like, you know, going through her whole curriculum vitae, all her, you know, where she's taught, Yale, Oxford, where, like, all the universities she's taught. We're just so humbled right now. She's one of the first people in academia to have the courage to speak out and warn us about where this is heading. This is much bigger than any injection, and most of you here know this. Without further ado, please make some noise for Dr. Naomi Wolf.
Thank you, Kevin. Thank you. What an honor to be with these distinguished people, but even more of an honor to be with what feels like the only real New Yorkers in the city today. And sometimes it feels like this community are the last Americans as well. So thank you for being here. I know it's a happy day and we're supposed to talk about love and light, but I have some sad things I need to say first.
We're gonna get a comb.
Many of you know, can you hear me? Because I warned you that I'm standing in a city in which I can't even go indoors with my children to have a meal. A city in which the first responders, our police, our firefighters, our healthcare workers are facing illegal violations of their bodily integrity that history will look back on and say, this is a crime of national and global proportions. Everything about the medical mandates is a crime. I'm not being rhetorical. It's against the Civil Rights Act of 1964 to divide people the way we're divided in this city. It's against the Nuremberg Code to experiment on human beings medically against their will. It's against the Americans with Disabilities Act that I even have to disclose my medical status to anyone. It's crime after crime, and the courts are starting to say so, but we need you to keep speaking up and reminding us what it means to be Americans and to uphold the rule of law and the Constitution.
Fight for freedom.
Now I want to say, I have my tissue. I have to say some very painful things. I want to talk about the bodies of first responders, all right? And I'm speaking as the proud wife of a U.S. Army veteran. Thank you. I've talked my whole career about how the bodies of women have been colonized and politicized. Well, now it's the bodies of first responders, our heroes, that are being colonized and politicized against their will. There's a lot of sentimentality and cliches that people use when they're talking about the courage of first responders. And I hear it all the time as the wife of a veteran. Thank you for your service. The police of this city, the firefighters of this city, the healthcare workers have been called heroes, as they should be. But now this city is abusing them and committing crimes against their bodies, coercing them. You heard this firefighter. Every single first responder is being victimized and violence is being enacted against them by illegal mandates. I want to tell just a few quick stories about first responders, okay? Because